Gear review fatigue is a growing concern for viewers and content creators like myself on this platform. The videos that I tend to make and I really do like making are showing my journey as a DP and most recently a first AC. And that kind of centers around the tools that I use, the gear that I'm interested in, and how I use it in a professional setting. So I do believe this sort of content separates myself from other YouTubers who tend to over sensationalize the gear aspect of the process, but I'll leave that up to you to be the judge. And though there is a conversation to be had about the whole scope and just the state of filmmaking and creating content on different platforms, I do want to focus on another aspect that's actually the positive side of a lot of things that can come from making content and being a working filmmaker as well. So if you're new to my channel and you do like the content I put out, make sure to hit the like, subscribe, and let's get into it. So the first company I want to talk about is SCG. I had an opportunity to work with them, and I've always admired their tripods and the design of their tripods in the budget market. Some of you have already seen the video I made with the Cine VHS 10 versus this tripod, the SCG T8 system. I thought it'd be cool to do a live reaction of these two tripod systems.
Whoa, that's crazy. Whoa, I am so confused. Huh, let's go to 5. Nope, 5 ain't doing nothing.
And so the issue I was having is that a rig like this, a monitor, heavier lens, EVF, battery, and transmission, it wouldn't hold. This is the old one. Just for reference, this is on 0 drag and 6 counterbalance. So if I unlock it, it just goes, right? And so I was very confused because this has more counterbalance, but it was very minimum increments of strength as you go up in that counterbalance. And so the Cine was, it overcompensated, but it held this rig fine with less counterbalance. I didn't think it was fair for me to put that video out, and they did express their concerns, and I agree that it wasn't fair for me to do that and then give them a complaint, suggestions of how to improvement. So I took down that video. I respect to them and what I want, how I want to build that relationship, and they quickly sent back an updated version, which is here. I put a green sticker on here so we know the difference. This is the older one. And so I asked them, they gave me a good explanation. They showed me some charts, and they asked if I want this to be improved. And I said, that'll be great because I really want to use this tripod system. I do like this tripod system.
5 minutes later.
Already you can see that 6, this is on 0 drag and 6 counterbalance. You can already see that is a lot stronger because it's already kicking back. So let me make sure I'm balanced though. Fine. Okay. But it holds. Look at that. I guess I don't know how far down it'll go. Let's go to 5 real quick. Let's go to 5 counterbalance. Yeah, look at that. That's smooth. Let's go up here. This is 5, not 6. This is 5. This is 6. But it's definitely stronger than the previous one. So they did say that they've updated all the tripod heads, so anything that you purchase now, it'll have this level of strength. Yeah, I think it's fantastic, honestly. And I can have confidence that this is going to hold my rig. So I'll leave it up to you. Give your opinions in the comments below. Was this a good change? I think so. Now, this is an interesting marriage of content creation and being a working filmmaker, and bringing those two worlds together because they do center around video content. YouTube is a very different beast in a lot of different ways, and a lot of people make good money on this platform. And I think it's a shame that we see this kind of head-to-head battle between the two parties. And there's a lot of it is merging because a lot of companies on the other side of like filmmaking, commercial content, and all those other things, they are pushing more of the social side. So it's this weird blend to be in, and I see a lot of hate towards it, but I also see a lot of good in it because I'm actually in the middle of both worlds. That being said, one of the perks of being a working filmmaker and bringing that experience into a platform like this is that brands that align with the type of work that I do tend to reach out. This gives an opportunity for me to use new gear that might be helpful for me. I'm not the one to go run out and try to get every little thing that I think is cool, that might get views. I don't do that type of stuff. I say yes to the gear that's actually going to benefit me and the work that I do. My channel isn't predicated on receiving gear to make content, I made 20 whatever videos about Fujifilm because I like it. Like making videos on this platform, I really enjoy. And it's nice that I'm making money on it now, but I'll be still making videos regardless if it's for a sponsor deal or whatever. A lot of the jobs that I'm on, Cine 16, we're a production company. We tend to handle a lot of the production side. So I have that leeway and that, that buffer for me to experiment with certain things if I know it's not going to hinder the workflow of the day. That's the most important thing. If we're on a more top dollar production, we're going to let production rent all the gear that we need. I'm not here trying to throw in every little piece of tech or filmmaking gear on a shoot when I know it might either hinder and jeopardize the whole production, because at the end of the day, we got to produce something really good. And so if that piece of tech is going to hinder it, I'm not going to put it on the shoot. And that's why I have to test. And I'm ranting. I'm sorry. This is not a rant video, but I just had to say that. So the next company I want to talk about is zgcine. They sent over their newer shark fin to me last year, and I was quite interested in it because it has a lot of DTAP ports out, a lot of 2-pin LEMOs and USB-C, and you can hot swap your batteries when you're on set. And that was actually something that I was needing because I had just sold my Switch hot swap battery that sits between the camera and the transmitter and the battery and such. So this is a nice way to do it. I like shark fins just for that use case of having double the battery life. Now, they were talking about this newer feature that they were really pushing, was this automatic switching when it comes to the battery. So if one of the batteries are getting low, it will kind of indicate to you via a color on the back of it, which I'll show here, and then you can switch out your battery that way. What I didn't know is that this didn't act like a traditional shark fin. So in order for you to switch out the battery at the time, it will have to be red, I believe. With this, then you can safely take off the battery and put on a new one. But let's say if you want to change the battery out before it got all the way to 0 and you want to go and grab it, this is what happens. This battery says it's dead. So let's just actually just take this off and it should stay on. Okay, it's on. So now you can hot swap, put on a new battery. This is going to be way too big, but let's just do it anyway. New battery, and then the light is green. So it's pretty straightforward, right? If your battery is dead, you would switch it. That's that automatic switching though. So if you say, let's say you want to switch out a battery before it depletes, and in your mind it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I can just switch it, right? If you take this off, yeah, you don't want that happening on your shoot. And that's what happened the first time. Shout out to my boy Arthur. He was my first AC. He was the one who really noticed this weirdness, how it's not acting like a shark fin. And I'm like, whoa, what happened? It shut off when I was switching the battery, and had no idea the batteries were full, whatever. And that was very, striking because I did not know what was going on. So as he was trying to figure that out and troubleshoot that, I reached out to zgcine while on set. It's like, hey, this is not acting like I expected. It shuts off when you want to pull out a battery before the light turns red or green, whatever. And they kind of messaged back, say, yeah, this is the feature that we wanted to implement where it'll have an automatic switching for your batteries. And I told them I didn't expect that to happen because traditionally a shark fin, you can switch out any battery at any time. So fast forward to now, and they sent over an updated version where you don't need to worry about switching or waiting for it to switch. So let me demonstrate that to you now. Okay, so yeah, this is the before. Ugh. Here's the after. Now at this point, this whole coloring system doesn't make sense to have anymore just because you can actually switch them out whenever you need to. So now you should be able to just switch the battery without worrying about it shutting off. There you have it. One little fix, and now I really like this product. But there you have it. That is a nice improvement. Now I can actually recommend this without having that stress. But this is a really good product. I just wish and hope that they make a gold mount version, because I do want to switch all my V mounts to gold mount, because sometimes this V mount in general is just very finicky. But that's not their issue. That's just V mount as a standard across the board. So there you have it. Now, how this often goes with brands I tend to work with, there's a product that they want to release and there's an embargo date. You tend to see this often with other creators on this platform. Embargo date, you release it, you get a bunch of the kind of first impressions of that product. And so I've always teetered back and forth from that. I've done a few embargo dates because I've had enough time. It's easier to give more of a concrete review on a product that you use in the field because you have 2 months or 3 months with it. That's a rare case, unfortunately. A lot of times it's brands, hey, we have this and it's going to release in a month, right? And so I've learned, especially not today and this year, how I'm going to approach this. I've learned to say no to those because it adds too much stress. And then the end product tends to be, if I can't get it on the project, it tends to be the same old video that you tend to watch. And those are no fun. And I think that's where a lot of the issue is coming from viewers, because you kind of get the same cycle of content on this platform, especially around embargo dates. So for me personally, moving on this year and brands that you're watching, I'm always going to ask for at least 2 months for that product for me to use. Now, there might be some one-off cases. Lenses are especially easy in that space because I can create something around the lens, the look that I want, and this, that, and the other. But anything that's really kind of tied to a camera or, whatever it might be, a light, whatever, those are harder to do in my opinion. So I'm going to be saying no to that more often if there's not an adequate time for me to actually use it to its paces for me to understand that product. And that's how it kind of goes, and I think it's our responsibility as creators who are working in the field and want to make content on this platform. We have to look at this platform and see what's out there already and how is content treated amongst our other fellow peers, and us to make that decision to, do we want to be in the same boat as everyone else or make that content. Now, granted, it is very tempting to make that same content that everybody's making because the algorithm, in other words, the audience tends to still watch that stuff, which is weird. A lot of our behavior is because what you guys click on and what you guys watch. So you might complain about these embargo dates, but you're still watching that content, and that's what gets pushed out. And again, I'm just using this as an example, but it's really has to be a dance between us two. The creators that you really do support and liking the content that you are enjoying, you have to watch that stuff for it to grow more. And that's why content creators like myself might be tempted to do something that's a little bit more cookie cutter or trendy because everybody's still watching that content. So the algorithm is just the audience. And so that could get really, fickle. And so you guys might be complaining about said thing, but you're the ones that are changing our behaviors for that. So it's a dance, and the more, I'm not asking you all to understand that, but that's what it is. It is what it is, right? Probably this video is going to be mainly for my core audience, the 40,000 subs that I have, because this video is not probably going to reach a lot of people. But if you found any value or anything I said that was interesting that you want to share with somebody, feel free. That'd be great in the long run. So I'll catch you guys on the next video. See ya.